Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Damionblackgear looking at more Magic Origins 2015, the core set for Magic the Gathering this year, and the last core set to come out according to them. We are going to be looking at the black cards today, and we're starting off here with Castor. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, target creature gets blah blah blah. Okay, so as long as you're doing the Sigil deck, this guy's going to be good. Like, you need the enchantments to do it. And there are enchantments that you can do this with. But it's going to be so difficult. Like, that deck is going to have problems if anything bad happens. Like, somebody plays that Thalia horse. You're done. Combat Slug is a terrible card. A vanilla 2/6 for 5. Congratulations. You were... Oh, Combat Slug. Catacomb Slug. Wow. I was going to say that you had the worst name ever, but that was me being not unable. Yeah, it's late. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I'm thirsty. Water. Consecrated by Blood. Gets +2/+2 flying. Sack 2 other things. You regenerate it. Yep. +2/+2 and flying makes this card potentially playable. It's worth it and limited to have it in your deck. You turn 1/1s into 3/3s, as I already said in the blue version. A 3/3 flyer for 5 is still an acceptable flyer. This just makes everything in your deck an acceptable flyer. Cruel Revival. Target creature. That's a zombie. Huh. Can't be regenerated. Destroy target non-zombie creature. It can't be regenerated. Turn up to 1 target zombie card from your graveyard to your hand. Hopefully you have a zombie in your graveyard. This is an instant, so that does give it points. Playable and limited. Anything that says destroy, kill, or maim is playable in limit. I shouldn't say anything. Majority of things, like 90% of cards, there's got to be something that's terrible that just says, like, kill target creature. Dark Dabbling. Generate target creature, draw a card. And if you have Spell Mastery, regenerate everything. Yeah, that is not worth it. Don't play that card. Unless you have to. Like, if they're running sweepers, understandable. I forgive you. Dark Petition. Search your library for a card, put it into your hand. Spell Mastery. Add triple black to your mana pool. I think I know a deck in Legacy that wants this card. Doomsday. That's right. The most complicated deck in all of Legacy, because there are way too many piles, there are way too many options, and there are way too many ways to screw up. They've got a new card, because this will let them go look for Doomsday and then shift to Doomsday. Hello, Doomsday. Yep. And they win the game off those piles. There was somewhere an article or a thread on some forum that was explaining how to use this card, and in the deck specifically, and it's gotta be at least 10 years old now. When I was playing regularly, it was around, and it was old then, and now it's just gotta be ancient. But the thing is, like, if you put it into normal paper, like on like 8.5 by 11 standard sized US paper, I don't know if it's standard to the rest of the world, so I'm saying US, it was like 5 or 6 pages long, just explaining about the piles. And that was it. Like, not the justifications for the piles, but just explaining what piles there were. And when to get them was even longer. It's fantastic work of art if you like that type of deck, or if you want to do the reading. This card now fits in there as one of the new options. Dead Bridge Shaman. When it dies, they discard cards. Well, a singleton card. It is a 3/1 for 3, which is the better part of it. The added ability to discard. Discard has an inherent problem. It is called your opponent being hellbent. So that is a thing for this card it will have to deal with. Other than that, it's just a 3/1 for 3. It's okay. It's not great. Demonic Pact, 4 mana enchantment. Hey, we're going to make that sigil deck work. Demonic enchantment. Choose one that hasn't been chosen. Well, that's unique. Although immediately I'm looking at the very last one of lose the game. Like, if you get this out with a Platinum Angel, you immediately choose lose the game as your option, by the way, because you can never choose it again. Don't wait for them to test your Platinum Angel. Burn the turn, get rid of the option. Because if they burn your Platinum Angel at the last second, you're going to be pissed. What are those things? Draw 2 cards. That's nice. Target player discards 2 cards. Same problem as I mentioned before, Hellbent. And this is 4 mana, so the more aggro-ish decks, that's completely a wasted turn anyway. Lose the game. Demonic Pact deals 4 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 4 life. Essentially, this does 4 damage, gains you 4 life, and you draw 2 cards. And then you... Yeah, you just heard that in my own voice without me saying anything. It's okay. Despoiler of Souls. I don't like this card. You need to donate it or something. And even then, you have to burn all of these abilities before you get to the donate portion. So I guess if you were playing a donate deck, you could do this, shoot something, make them discard their hand, and then draw 2 cards, so you hopefully have a counterspell because donate's blue. And then you donate it to them, and you go from there. Because then they will lose the game. Alright, Despoiler can't block for a 3/1 2 black. This is already efficient enough for me. Exile another creature card from your graveyard, return it to the battlefield. From graveyard. Yeah, this was already enough for me to say this was going to be good somewhere, and this ability just says that it's going to be good somewhere real soon. This is a good card. Where it goes will depend on how people decide to build with it, what is actually allowed. This 3 power could use some improvements, but there are things that will fix that later on. It is a horror, so it has no interactions with any of the fun-loving cards from the, whatchamacallit block, the last tribal one. God, I am drawing a blank here. Fairy Rogues, and yeah, that one. Can't think of it. No interactions there, which is unfortunate. It would have been nice if this had been a rogue. You could have earwig squatted somebody or something. But it is not, and that is regrettable. Urboros Titan. As long as your opponent controls no creatures, Urboros Titan has indestructible. Whenever a creature card leaves an opponent's graveyard, you may discard a card. If you do from graveyard to hand, I don't want to put it in my hand. This is a lot of work. Why did this card just gone back to the battlefield? Leaves the graveyard? This could have just gone to the battlefield. That's a lot of hoop to go jumping through. Eyeblaze Assassin. It is a 5/5 for 4. This will see play, especially in Limited. This is a house in Limited. This hits the field and just starts swinging. Although, this creature's an indestructible thing is kind of meh. Like, think of it this way. If you're going to kill that thing, you're going to most likely be blocking it because it's too strong for burn spells. It's a black creature, so most of the removal is like, oh man. And that zombie thing is about the only thing that's going to get it because this isn't a zombie. So, yeah. Whatever. Let's see, 3 mana 2/2. Whenever it enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls gets minus. So it offs a creature on the way in. That's not bad. Hopefully it offs a creature on the way in. Not enough creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. This will get play. These will both get play definitely in Limited. This might get play in Standard depending on what happens. It might actually just end up being a sideboard card. Feral Imp. Death Touch. If you had regenerate you clause, it'd be nice. So that's basically all it is. You should just give this flash. Or better yet, just call it terror or something. Replacements. Fleshbag Marauder is a reprint. Didn't get play very much before. It won't get very much now. It'll find its way into things just because of the fact that it exists. But yeah, it's probably not going to do much. Guiltleaf Winnower. Menace. Must be blocked by two or can't be blocked except by two or more creatures. Again, that magical work can't. When this enters the battlefield, you may destroy target non-elf creature whose powers and toughness aren't equal. So this is going to get play. You remember what I said about that destroy word? And a lot of these things in this format haven't been 2/2s, 5/5s. They've been 3/1, 1/2, 3/1, 1/4, 6/6. So of the things that we can see right now, this kills or doesn't kill 1, 2, 3, 4 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is a higher percentage to kill something than not kill something. On top of that, it's a 4 power with a 3 bud. Wait, I'm trying to skip this card. What does this do? Trap Grouper, pay 1 life, add green to your mana pool, spend this only to cast elf creatures. That makes me sad. And target attacking elf you control gains Death Touch. I don't like this card. It made me sad. Gravebane Marauder, Death Touch. 1/1/4, I can live with Death Touch. 1/4 for 3, there are cards like that already. Although your Death Touch makes you the greatest wall ever. Why are you a warrior? Whenever a Gravebane Marauder deals combat damage to a player, the player loses life equal to the number of cards in his or her creature cards. Ooh, there's a huge difference there. Huge difference. If this was cards, this card would be awesome. Kills anything, just keeps on swinging. Essentially, it's Phage. Phage the untouchable. Yes, Phage the untouchable. Phage kills you if she hits you. Just name of the game. Infernal Scarring. This is still a good card. Even if it's creature cards, you're going to get like in a bonus 2 to 3 damage. He already guarantee kills anything that blocks him. So he's essentially hitting for as hard as this elf guy. But he's killing anything. You are not getting away scot-free. Give him first strike. Feral Scarring. +2/+2, when it dies, draw a card. Okay. That's not good, by the way. Infinite Obliteration. Sorcery. Name a card. Search target player's hand, library. Name a creature card. Oh god. It's Cranial Extraction for creatures. Yep. Not worth it. In almost every format, it's not the creature you want to nail, it's a spell you want to nail. This makes it not worth it, and when we get the spell version, it'll be blue. That's the sad thing. Soul Hoarder. Flying 6/6 for 6. This card's awesome. I'm calling it in limited right now. You play this card, you win the game. Now let's see what else it does. Whenever a permanent owned by another player is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1. What? This card is great. In standard, everywhere that you can play a 6-mana creature, I would definitely find a way to cheat this thing in. This does not beat out Gristlebrand. This does not beat out Emrakul. This does, however, beat out Kakusho. I don't think it beats out Kaiga. I don't know about Yosei. Yosei's kind of up there in questionables too. But it does some work. Yeah, I like that card. Languish. All creatures get -4/-4 until end of turn. Okay. Well, this just beat out the -2/-2 to non-elves, so that card's not getting played anymore. It's now this one. Why are they completely out trumping something? Same set. Whatever. So we have our Liliana Planeswalker. Let's take a look. 3-mana Planeswalker. Same cost as all the other Lilianas that have been good. Hey, Flink. That's not a bad ability. Who likes gaining life? I like gaining life. Whenever another non-token creature... Why? Why, Wizards, are you wording things like this? She's not a token. She's a card. And if you make a token of her, you're going to simply choose to select to keep the token in play. No, no. Sorry, that just played through my head. For some reason, I clipped in and was like, tokens come back after they exile. No, they won't. You'll get your 2/2 zombie, though. Yeah. You could have a 2/2 black zombie. Or you could just cut this another non-token. She's not a token. God, why is that there? Even if you make token copies of her, they don't come back as the Planeswalker Wizards. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, so one of your guys has to die, exile her. So you get back essentially your creature. Why does it say another non-token? And then you flip her. You get a 2/2 and you flip her. Whenever a creature dies on your side, you can do this. Oh my god. I am actually really bothered by that wording. If anybody can explain to me why it's worded that way, I know you guys can see me like bouncing over it. I'm going to take my hand off the mouse. Yeah. Let's see. 3 loyalty plus 2. Each player discards card. You have the +1 of your other good version. Let's see. Are you actually good version? Return target non-legendary creature with confirmed mana cost X from your graveyard to your battlefield. Thank God I almost said hand. It is battlefield. That's actually a useful ability. The +2 actually allows you to get up there. If you're playing against an aggro deck, you can throw blockers out from their side. The discard's not going to be as big. You can get your people back, so that's a good thing. And your ultimate, you get an emblem whenever a creature dies, return to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. This is really good. If you could flip her, she's really good. But she's not like Jace. Jace can flip himself. Gideon can flip himself. She cannot flip herself. I don't. And that becomes the big question. If you can make her flip, which there were a lot of things in the last set that allowed you to basically sacrifice your own guys. That's kind of nice. If you can make her flip, you're set. This is actually a really good Planeswalker. But getting her to flip is going to be the hard part. And that is the problem that everybody's going to have who decides to play anything with her, is how do you make your Liliana flip? In Legacy, there are answers. There are ways to do that. You can sacrifice something to a Cabal therapy. You can force combat. You can do things to your side. In current standard, there are ways to do that. But at the same time, like, it's not as efficient as in the older formats. As things get further back, there are more options available for you to do that. Oh man, but I really want, like, I really want it to happen, but I don't know if it will. Macabre Waltz reprint. A really good card. If you can get it to go. Pull things back from your graveyard to your hand, then discard a card. Not the worst thing in the world, not the best thing in the world. It's just a card. It gets you back 2 creatures, and you get rid of something else. Save that land when you've got like 12 of them. Coldblade, Malakir, vampire guy from vampire thingy. Innistrad, there we go. So, no, wasn't Innistrad, because there's a Blood Witch too, and she's not Innistrad block. Whatever. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter, yay, on it. A 1/1. Husk. Hey, there's a way to flip Liliana. I got something we can throw at it. Husk is also a reprint. It's a good card. It will win you the game every now and then in limited. It is not standard playable from my memory. Particular creature from the graveyard and the battlefield under your control. A graveyard. That is nice. Let's see. Spell Mastery. That creature enters the battlefield with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it. That's fine. See, this wording is fine. The reason why this additional is better than the one on Liliana, and by Liliana's additional, I mean another non-token. Fuck, wizards. Yeah. This one is better because there are creatures that come into play with nothing but +1/+1 counters on them. And if this was to say, enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it, you would have to actually make a ruling that would basically errata this to 2 additional +1/+1 counters. Otherwise, that thing would come in with 2 +1/+1 counters, which is kind of weird. Night Snare. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, that player discards that card. If you don't, that player discards 2 cards. You know, that's... Oh, never mind. 4 mana. It wasn't terrible until we realized it was 4 mana. Although at 4 mana, it's pretty much going to be guaranteed to turn your opponent hellbent. That's about it. Priest of the Blood Rite. Should probably bring this down to the middle. Enters the battlefield, put a 5/5 demon creature with flying into play at the beginning of your upkeep. You lose 2 life. I got something else we can sacrifice. Rabid Bloodsucker. Oh, by the way, this is actually a really good card, because you just swing with this too. And if they block and kill this, it's like, yeah, my 2 life killing me is gone. I've just got this random 5/5 demon that I played 5 for. So, huzzah! Enters the battlefield, each player loses 2 life. See, when you put him right next to this guy, this card just looks terrible. That 2 life is kind of one of those things that I'm wondering about. Why can I thank you? So, I mean, it's limited, it's fine. Because, again, there are not a lot of giant flyers. There's not a lot of bigger flyers. So this card will do the job. Read the Bones. Scry 2, draw 2, lose 2. Okay. The card's... I wish it was an instant, but it's fine. I wish it said target player, target player, target player. But... whatever. Target player scries 2, target player draws 2, each player loses 1 life for whichever mode they ended up with. So you lose 2 life. So you could scry 2, lose 1 life, have your opponent draw 2, lose 1 life, and then that would cover the last one. So I don't need to go over that. That's what I would have asked for from this card, because I like the ability to make people draw cards. If you're a mill player, that's actually really key, because you don't want to have to always wait until your next turn or their next turn and only have 1 opportunity during a turn to kill them. So, yeah. Target creature with power 3 or less. Smother. That is Smother, right? Smother with a drawback. You can regenerate from this one. Returned Centaur. Top 4 cards from answer. Target player, at least. So you can mill and block. There you go. Make you feel like a champ. I will tell you, there is really nothing better than milling your opponent and watching the anger on their face as they have to lose the game, realizing that they've just been milled. Revenant Flying. Equal to the number of creature cards in graveyards. It's a Lurgoyf with flying. Shadows of the Past. Whenever a creature dies, scry 1. That's already a good thing. Each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Activate this only if there are 4 more creature cards in your graveyard. It doesn't exile them, so this does become an infinite source of life siphon thingy. And the creature dying thing, I mean, if you're playing this already, you're probably not worrying about this. If you put charge counters on and then you could take them off to draw a card, that would be better. Shambling Ghoul, that's obviously the case, by the way. I'm going to jump into that Ghoul for a moment. The draw will always be the best form of filter that we have. So when you're stuck actually filtering, it's not as good as when you're drawing. Shambling Ghoul enters the battlefield tapped. Okay, this is just a meh creature. It'll get played because it's a bear that's bigger than a bear. Tainted Remedy. An opponent would gain life that a player loses that much life instead. Enchantment. It's False Cure and an enchantment. I was listening or talking and somebody was like, there's no other card like this. And it was like, immediately I thought of False Cure. It's like, somebody's definitely not caught up on their magic. Yeah. False Cure is whenever you would gain 1 life, you take 2 damage. So you do gain the life, but then you take 2 damage. Thornbow Archer. Is that still the case? Or did they reword it? Turn off caps lock there. Oh, lose life. That's how we're wording that now. Thornbow Archer. Attacks each opponent who doesn't control an elf loses 1 life. It's terrible. You're an archer without reach, by the way. Just a thought. This guy's a terrible shot. Sacrifice a creature. Target discards a number of cards equal to their power. Again, 3 mana, too late. Touch of Moonglove. This is a reprint, isn't it? Yeah, I don't remember. It's not a very good card. Target creature control gets +1/+1 death touch until end of turn. Whenever a creature dealt damage display, that creature's controller loses 2 life. Congratulations. Like, at best, you might get 4. There aren't very many blocks with more than 2 creatures, so yeah. But at least you'll kill them both. Enters the battlefield, put a black creature into the play. Dead servant. For each card, name undead servant in your graveyard. So this one cares about it being in your graveyard. So you won't actually get these. Checks on cast and resolution. So I guess you could play this, sack it, but then you're stuck with a 2/2 as opposed to a 3/2. Like in limited, this is awesome. If you can get like, it could go anyway. Enchanted. Oh wait, we're on Unholy Hunger. Destroy target creature. Deal. This will get played. It is an instant as well. This is actually just a good one. You gain 2 life. That's it. Spell Masteries. You gain 2 life. This is an awesome card. Yeah. Way to the Underworld. Give something a huge debuff. That's about it. It's not very good. If you could get other removal, I would recommend the other removal. This thing costs a lot. I know this costs 1 more, but this actually just says destroy the creature as opposed to give them a debuff. Granted, this would kill most things or at least render them into a point where they're not able to do much. So, yeah. That is the black selection. We're going to be back again tomorrow with the reds. Hopefully the red color gets something good because typically red gets the finger. So, yeah. On the color wheel, of all of the colors, which gets the most, which gets the least? I'll give you a hint. My microphone has a similar sense with the color. But that's for you to ponder until next time. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.